You hit the jackpot with me. You hit the jackpot with me.
I'm here at the VidCon pre-party. It is so lit. Hello darlings and welcome back to the Rachel West Experience. I hope you guys had an awesome week. By the way, don't mind this super casual setup. I just wanted to, keep it real with you guys, so we're gonna keep it real. Speaking of keeping it real, as many of you know, I was at VidCon this past week, so I wanted to do a little recap of how that went, and share with you guys some of my thoughts on the experience, give you a couple of tips for if you decide to go. And yeah, so basically VidCon was a super cool experience. I definitely enjoyed it. I'm really glad I went, and I would definitely do it all over again. It's a really crazy convention. For those of you who don't know about VidCon or who have never heard of it, basically it's this big convention where a bunch of people across different social media platforms come together, and there's just all kinds of booths and stuff. There's all kinds of meetups, interviews, things like that happening, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. To be honest with you, I will say that the event itself was a lot different than I expected. I guess I kind of thought that there would be a lot more mixing of the people, meaning that a lot of the top Viners or Musical.ly people or YouTube people would be kind of available walking around, and that you have the opportunity to meet people and network and all of that. But it wasn't so much that. For one thing, I definitely feel like VidCon itself is kind of more of a convention for the fans, which is awesome. I definitely felt at all times I was surrounded by teenage girls. Not for me, but just at the event. There was a lot of teenage girls on the premises, and everybody seemed to be just waiting to catch the opportunity to meet their favorite stars and things like that, which was cool. But in terms of intermixing between the creators, not so much. It kind of felt like high school, kind of a high school auditorium or high school lunchroom, where everybody's in their own little cliques and at their own tables, and the YouNow people hung out with the YouNow people, and the YouTube people are with the YouTube people, and it kind of just made for kind of a segregated type of experience, which was cool. I definitely appreciated getting to hang with my people, and I met a lot of awesome people from YouNow, which I was so excited to do. Getting to meet Mr. Cashier, who's one of my faves, getting to meet Brittany J. Smith, who's now one of my BFFs, Haley Knox, Dapper Rapper, Tap Tap, all of these awesome people from YouNow, which was really cool, and I really appreciate getting to meet all of those friends. However, I was kind of hoping to also get to meet some of the people whom I really like, and the people whom I watch, Jenna Marbles and Lauren Elizabeth, which there are panels and different interviews and stuff going on throughout the whole event, so you have the opportunity to go and watch those people. But in terms of meeting them, there wasn't a lot of that happening, and I kind of felt bad for some of the fangirls and stuff who may have come and wanted to really see their favorite person. Jacob Sartorius was obviously the favorite of the event, and all of the girls were going crazy for him, and I bet you not even half of those girls got the opportunity to give him a hug or take a picture. So yeah, it was different. It was definitely different. There were things that I really enjoyed, getting to make new friends. They had some cool booths and stuff. They had an NYX makeup booth, and I got to get these fancy new metallic lipsticks, which was awesome. And then obviously getting to meet my fans, that was really, really exciting for me. And the fans who I did get to meet, thank you so much for coming up to me, and it was so nice to meet you. I'm glad we got to take pictures, and thank you for buying me food, because the food there is hella expensive, and I appreciate that so much. So that was really, really cool. But if you plan on going to VidCon in the future, there are a couple of things that I would definitely recommend. Number one, make sure you're staying at a hotel that's like within walking distance of the convention center, because it's definitely not fun having to make a super long trek to and from. And even if you're trying to Uber, like I'm sure the Uber like system was like backed up because there were so many people. So like definitely make sure that you can walk. Number two, make sure you bring snacks, because even though they had food trucks and stuff set up and they were all super yummy, they're also super expensive, and ain't nobody got the money to be spending on a $20 pizza. Like, what are you thinking? So make sure you bring snacks. Make sure you bring your own water as well, because it does get hot like in Southern California, and if you're like walking around or if you're outside, like you're gonna want water, so make sure you bring your own water. Also, be ready to like meet people, because it can be really boring if you're not like super famous, or if you're not at a panel or an interview and all you're doing is walking around. Like it can get kind of like lonesome or boring or whatever. So like make sure you're like meeting people, make sure you're open to meeting people, because I feel like that's what really makes events like VidCon like worth it. Last but not least, like obviously have fun, and thank you to everybody who followed me on Snapchat, because I tried to Snapchat as much of the experience as possible. So like make sure you capture the experience, because I feel like you never know who you're gonna meet at these things. You don't know who you're gonna run into. You may or may not get to see some of your favorite people because they may or may not be available, but if you do, make sure you're having a good time and like documenting it and like taking pictures and all of that, because that's what I tried to do anyways. So it was a really good time overall. Super glad that I went. Would definitely do it again. Hoping to go to Playlist and VidCon next year, and I hope to see you guys there. In the meantime, I would like to show you guys a couple of the highlights from my weekend, which I'm going to play as soon as we say goodbye. So anyways, this has been the Rachel West Experience, and I love you guys very much. I'll see you next time. Mwah.
I got drugs in Atlanta, switch it to being a flame. I got drugs in Atlanta, switch it to being a flame. Switch it to being a flame.
You hit the jackpot.